KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
And good morning. Happy Monday. Thanks so much for getting your day started right with us right here on GMSA at 9.
Yeah, happy Monday. Happy September 16th. We're in the middle of the month, but a very hot weekend. We hope you guys enjoyed the weekend, but maybe stayed inside.
I did.
Yeah, watched football, watched fights, or watched whatever. Oh, the Emmys on TV last night.
That is true. Let's take a live look outside right now to see how the sky is looking. The sky was a bit clear earlier, and guess what? Still is that way. It is open, Justin, for God to shine his heat on the city at 80 degrees right now.
Already 80
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, he's got his heat lamp out, okay?
Yeah, there you go.
It is going to be toasty today and really throughout the week. We could be challenging some records here. Not exactly what we'd hope for in September, but it's where we are. Let's take a look at the forecast for today. 97 is where we end up. 89 at noontime. There is an outside chance for a shower, but we're talking 10% or less. So the majority of us won't notice anything other than a few clouds later today. We do need to mention, though, that 97 translates to a heat index somewhere around 102. There's enough humidity out there to make it feel very sticky and very hot this afternoon. Places like Gonzales, where humidity will be extremely high, could see heat indices as high as 105. So it's still important to be careful here. This is the kind of heat that will sneak up on you. Weather headlines. So, yes, some potentially near record temperatures, certainly above average, and the heat index will be 100 almost all week long. What about those cold fronts? We're still waiting. You know, we did get one front earlier this month, but it wasn't just super strong. We're hoping for maybe a little stronger front somewhere down the line. It's not in the forecast just yet. And by the way, fall officially starts on Sunday. It's in the 7-day forecast. We'll talk about that coming up. Let's go over to TransGuide now, and we're looking at I-37 and I-35. There's a crash near I-35 in St. Mary's, correct?
Yes, it looks like it's on the TxDOT website. This is St. Mary Street South. I-35 South looks like there's a shoulder lane blocked and a main lane blocked, but it looks like everything's pretty blocked because it's pretty slowing down quite a bit right now. So yeah, just be aware of that. That is a minor crash listed there on the TxDOT website. And happening right now, the Attorney General's office is in court over a lawsuit it filed against Bexar County for a voter registration program.
Our Devin Carr breaks down how we got here and what comes next.
This is a story we've been following closely since it's broke. Now, both sides are in front of a judge right now for a hearing on the dispute. Now, this all started when Bexar County commissioners voted 3-1 to award a $393,000 contract to Civic Government Solutions, or CGS, earlier this month. CGS is a group that mails pre-filed voter registration forms to eligible unregistered voters in the county. Attorney General Ken Paxton threatened to file a lawsuit if the contract was approved and did so hours after it got the green light. The Attorney General and other opponents of the program say one of the company's alleged connections to progressive entities could be a conflict. Now, District Attorney Joe Gonzalez says the citizens of Bexar County won't be intimidated and that he believes in the healthy exercise of democracy. Now, we're going to keep you updated over the air and online at KSAT.com with an update coming over for you at noon. Back to you.
Thank you, Devin. Also this morning, a former Uvalde School District police officer charged in the Robb Elementary School shooting is scheduled to have another hearing in court today. Adrian Gonzalez's first court appearance was back in July. And Gonzalez is charged with 29 counts of abandoning, endangering a child, while former District Police Chief Pete Arredondo was indicted on 10 counts of the same charge. Arredondo waived his court appearance. Both men are facing charges in connection to the botched law enforcement response during the Robb Elementary School shooting. Now, both Gonzalez and Arredondo have pleaded not guilty to the charges they face.
All right, here's today's 9 at 9.
The FBI is investigating what it's calling an attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump after Secret Service agents fired at a man with a rifle near Trump's Palm Beach, Florida golf course yesterday. Multiple law enforcement sources say that the shooter, who was detained, has been identified as Ryan Wesley Routh. The former president is safe, according to a spokesperson from his campaign, and he thanked law enforcement for keeping him safe.
City of Springfield, Ohio continues to strain under public spotlight, receiving multiple bomb threats over the weekend. 2 universities closed their campuses and moved to remote learning following those threats. Threats were also issued to the mayor's house and city hall. The mayor says that he believes that the threats are directly connected to the claims that Haitian migrants were abducting pets in Springfield in order to eat them.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says a second vote on an in vitro fertilization bill is coming soon. In June, the legislation, which guaranteed access to the treatment, stalled by a vote of 48 to 47, with 2 GOP senators voting with Democrats. This comes as multiple House Republicans said they are pushing for Speaker Mike Johnson to hold a legislative vote backing IVF ahead of the 2024 election.
Striking Boeing machinists are confident that they can get a better pay hikes and a better pension when talks resume next week. More than 30,000 members walked out Friday, shutting down production of the 737 MAX and other jets. Union leaders John Holden telling NPR that the strike at the plane manufacturer could go on for a while. A long strike could do more damage to Boeing's bottom line.
The U.S. Coast Guard will begin 2 weeks of hearings today that will examine the cause of the Titan submersible implosion that killed 5 people last year. The submersible was heading to the site of the Titanic in June of last year when it lost contact with the surface and imploded. The Coast Guard is hoping to come up with plans to prevent a similar incident from happening.
Lawyers for the social media giant TikTok are scheduled to argue in court today that the law that could ban the app is unconstitutional. U.S. officials say that the app could hand over user data to the Chinese government. TikTok denies the allegations, calling the attempt to ban it, saying a ban will set a dangerous precedent.
Firefighters are still trying to contain the so-called siphon fire burning into the Tonto National Forest in Arizona. The fire has already charred about 16,000 acres and is about 27% contained this morning. Evacuation orders remain in place for communities near the fire. The exact cause of the fire is still not known.
Tito Jackson, one of the brothers who made up the beloved pop group The Jackson 5, has died at age 70. His family announced his passing late Sunday on Instagram. Tito was the third of 9 Jackson children, which includes global superstars Michael and sister Janet. Jackson 5, which was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1997, produced several #1 hits in the 1970s, including ABC, I Want You Back, and I'll Be There.
Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark broke the WNBA's rookie scoring record this weekend. Clark scored a career-high 35 points in her game against the Dallas Wings, winning 110-109. Clark has now scored 761 points so far this season. That breaks the rookie record set by the Minnesota Lynx's Simone Augustus. She scored 744 points in her rookie year back in 2006. And that's today's 9 at 9. Well, before we go to break, welcome back to all of our viewers on DirecTV. The telecom company and ABC parent company Disney hammered out a deal last night to bring their channels officially back on air. So while KSAT was not part of the distribution dispute between Disney and DirecTV, we still do apologize for the inconvenience. And many of you have been talking about having KSAT and other Disney channels back. A few of you said very nice and good and back to normal now.
Yes, a few of our viewers were still a bit miffed about the situation, writing things like, surprise, DirecTV is still in business and the future is streaming, cut the cord. You know, I saw a bunch of that. A lot of people were just like, yay, I got my KSAT back. But then some people were being a little salty about it, just like, might as well keep them off. You know, I don't know. It's either or.
Because they had to deal with it for a couple of weeks.
Exactly. Yeah. So DirecTV, you saw a lot of drama online. I'm going to ask y'all to calm down, please. All right. It is 9:06 right now. We're looking at 80 degrees outside.
Well, still ahead on GMSA at 9, the Federal Reserve announcing a new round of cuts to interest rates, what this means for consumers and borrowers.
And have you gone to Home Depot and paid more than what was listed on the tag? Well, you aren't alone. Ivan Herrera breaks down why the store is in some hot water next. All right. Feeling hot, hot, hot.
Yes. All weekend.
Yes.
All week.
All week, hot, hot, hot.
Yeah, pick your song, your heat song. There's many of them, but that's a good one.
We can use all of them.
We can.
We may go through all of them before the week's over with.
And a little bit of, okay.
It's a good one too. All good. Keep them coming. Again, all week we can use them. All right, let's take a look at what's going on in the tropics. Actually, we got to look at potential tropical cyclone 8. It is technically what they call a potential tropical cyclone, but you know what? It doesn't look very tropical to me. Hurricane Center isn't very high on this becoming a named storm. Bottom line is that this will bring some rain to parts of the Carolinas. Now, this is some remnants of Francine mixed with another area of low pressure. It's kind of trying to spin up here on the coast, but again, I don't think it's going to get a name, and it really will just bring some heavy rain to parts of North Carolina going forward. So 4 to 5 inches for the east coast of North Carolina. So that's what's going on in the tropics. That's really the only main issue that we have right now. Nothing that would have any impacts on Texas. And you look outside, there isn't even a cloud. We're going to see cloud-free skies, at least for the first half of the day. Then some clouds may build in this afternoon. There's even a small chance for shower. 80 degrees right now in San Antonio, 81 in New Braunfels, upper 70s for Converse. Still in the 60s in Kerrville, not for much longer, but nice while it lasted. And the dew points, these are the big problems. I mean, we've got dew points in the mid-60s in the hill country. That's not horrible. But you get in San Antonio, you got dew points in the low 70s. So that's tropical, muggy air that is really entrenched and hasn't wanted to move. So that means heat indices are 70 plus right now. But these numbers will jump up into the 80s very quickly. And we'll see, I think heat indices jump up into the 100 range this afternoon, if not a little bit above. You look at the entire week, you've got temperatures well above average. Our average is 90. And these are borderline records. You can get add a degree or two, you're going to get up into record territory. So something we'll be watching this week. It is the last week of summer, of course, and it really, really does feel like it. As we look at the upper level pattern here, and this is one of the reasons the forecast looks the way it does, is you have our heat high, our ridge of high pressure, which we love to hate so much. It has been here for fits this summer here and there, but now we're starting to see it again, and it's starting to really settle in over the state of Texas, at least for this week. And when you have that heat high, you know how it works. Everything goes up and around it. So all the active weather is either going to be East Coast or West Coast, and it squashes out rain chances and it heats us up. So kind of all bad news there, but that is the situation. And you look at the extended forecast, we'll go 97 tomorrow, just a 10% chance of rain, 96 on Wednesday, 97 Thursday. And yes, we do officially enter into fall. It's the fall equinox on Sunday. It's Sunday morning. And our first full day of fall will be next Monday. Does that mean it will bring cooler weather? No. And we were still talking about the fronts. When might we see a good front? Now, technically, we did see a somewhat decent front a little bit earlier this month. It cooled us down for like a day. We're waiting on one of those ones that, gives us like 3 or 4 days of beautiful weather. Not in the forecast yet.
Okay. Well, at least it's officially fall. That gives us some hope for the future.
Well, in a week.
There you go.
We'll do that. Well, we can't wait to talk about this. Thank you. SA Live again. So any day that starts with breakfast tacos is very good, right? So you know how to make it even better? Well, breakfast tacos plus
SA Live. Okay, Fiona and Jen, we hear that you're making history once again with an official SA Live breakfast taco. What's that about?
That's right. Yes, of course. It starts with breakfast, right? Having that good, delicious meal, and it's a lot. This taco that they're making for us today, but it includes a lot of ingredients, just like us. We are a lot.
It's okay.
It's the perfect combination of flavor, fun, and spice.
Hey,
I like that.
And cheesy, right? Very cheesy.
Yeah,
And
very
cheesy.
Must have cheese.
Yes, the man making it for us, Pete Rios, owner of Pete's Taco House. He's here with us, but I mean, have you guys taken a bite yet? Because I wanted to see it.
See, I would, but I got the chorizo egg, and that means a lot of grease is about to go leaking down my face, and I don't need to be doing that on the air.
Got it. Okay. Well, I know anytime you see this, though, this is pure joy. So we're going to ask Pete here. How you were voted best tacos in San Antonio.
Yes, we were
How does
voted.
that make you feel?
It feels awesome to be voted best tacos for being around as long as we have. So
And what is your most popular taco?
I'll let you guys guess what the very most popular.
Bean and cheese.
Yes, absolutely. Number one every month is bean and cheese.
So I just ran with that.
I think that's what I got here. I can just tell,
Okay, now speaking of celebrities, did you do you know which celebrity you might want to have a taco with?
My favorite celebrity would probably be George Strait because he's Texas and he's an awesome man. I'd love to sit down and have a taco, discuss world issues with him.
And I have a feeling you've had some familiar celebrity faces stop by Pete's Taco House. Any that you can name?
Well, Paula Abdul was in there one time. Yeah, she was here for the Tobin Center concert, and
She
yeah,
go
she
two
stopped
steps
in.
forward and then 2 steps
Exactly. Yes. Very lovely lady.
Oh, what did she order? Do you remember? I just like to ask that. I don't know why.
Enchilada plate, I guess. Yeah.
Good
Simple.
choice.
Yeah.
Good choice, Paula.
All right, okay, so we want you, if you could have tacos with any celebrity, who would it be? Scan that QR code and let us know.
I've been thinking about that. I don't know who I'd be comfortable enough to eat in front of. I'd be like in shock
Oh, come on.
of my celebrity, crushes. I don't know if we want to.
Mine's for sure David Robbins.
Oh, that's a good
That's my boy.
idea. Well, because he's from San Antonio. Yeah, so he'd understand.
David's awesome.
See, I need somebody who won't judge me, so I would like
That's
to
what
sit
I
in
was
front of
thinking.
Jesus. Yo, tell me about walking on that water, man, and eat this taco.
There would be no judgment there. I'll have to think about mine and come back to you. I don't know who I wanted to have.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Oh
There you
no,
go.
well, not Beetlejuice. Maybe I put something scary in my taco, but maybe I don't know. Maybe Tim Burton. We can talk about it with Tim Burton, maybe. How about you
All
guys?
right, okay, and of course, celebrities, a lot of them last night at the Emmys.
Yes, did you guys watch?
Got some recaps. I saw some of it. Yes. What about you guys?
Any favorite moments for you guys?
Well, for me, I'm glad that the bear
Yeah, I do like the bear.
won a lot. So actually, this may sound funny. I didn't read up to the night, and I was surprised that it was considered a comedy.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah,
I thought
It's not
that
a comedy.
too.
Yeah, because I'm like, why am I crying in this comedy? But I'm glad that they got some, some recognition, and their lead actor and supporting actor. So that was cool. What about you guys?
Well, you'll find out. And you guys have an Emmy wrap coming up in just a few minutes, right?
That's right. We'll find out from you guys. Yes.
Okay, we look forward to it. Thank you, guys. Well, welcome back. It's 9:22. The Federal Reserve is expected to cut interest rates this week, and Home Depot forced to pay up for overcharging customers. And the organization behind ChatGPT is saying its new model can think much like a person does.
Here's to break down the morning's consumer headlines, the one and only Ivan Aretta. Okay, so I'm very interested in this Home Depot stuff because I just moved and I bought a lot of stuff, and it was pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Well, good morning. You're going to be a little upset when I tell you, but let's start with the Fed first. The Fed is expected to bring down interest rate this week for the first time since 2020, and many are asking what took so long. The Federal Reserve has been battling high inflation for the past 2 years, and this move could bring relief to Americans feeling the pinch of rising costs. But this cut didn't happen as fast as expected. Many predicted it would come earlier this year as rising costs hit businesses and consumers hard. So why the delay? Well, the Fed held off to avoid reigniting inflation. It needed to see clear signs that the prices were stabilizing before making a move. Now, the Fed is feeling more confident. Mortgage rates have fallen and inflation has started to cool off. It's a long-awaited shift that many hope will ease financial pressure on Americans nationwide. Now, we'll be watching closely to see how it plays out this week. And Home Depot must pay nearly $2 million to settle a civil enforcement claim from California district attorneys that it overcharged its customers. The attorneys say that the nation's fifth largest retailer engaged in false advertising and unfair competition. The complaint said customers were charged more money at the checkout than was written on the shelf tag or even the item itself. The Los Angeles County DA's office called these, quote, scanner violations. Now, the judgment also requires Home Depot to support future consumer protection enforcement, and the company must implement a price accuracy program. Home Depot has not admitted any wrongdoing. Now, OpenAI has unveiled a new artificial intelligence model that the company says can, quote, reason and think much like a person would, end quote. Now, the new model, OpenAI, is called OpenAI 01, and it was released last week as a preview. The organization says it will be making regular updates and improvements to it. Now, the 01 model was trained to spend more time thinking through problems before responding, kind of like a person would. Now, some examples for its use are for healthcare, such as gene sequencing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Gattaca, that's pretty cool. And of course, cancer research. Plus, it could help with solving climate crisis problems. But these His AI systems use more electricity, which could worsen global warming. Now, in tests, the new O1 model performs similarly to PhD students on difficult benchmark tasks in physics, chemistry, and biology. According to OpenAI, and the new model is still not fully available to everyone, it will gradually update to most of the ChatGPT users soon. Guys, I was seeing some videos about this and it looks really, really interesting. I think it'd be really good for healthcare for sure.
Yeah. No, hopefully it can stay in the healthcare, because when they start talking about something, things like a human, I don't need them getting emotional. I don't want to see any like that.
You don't want an iRobot situation.
Yes, or Megan. You remember the movie Megan?
Yes.
Gosh, yeah, that was
like,
scary.
no, can you just say 1 + 1 = 2 and just leave it at that, man? Stop doing all this.
Gotcha.
I was
well, we're excited to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of odd, but yeah, healthcare might be a good thing, because like what do you call it? Like a more I don't want to say more understanding robot.
Yeah.
But to think about issues.
Processing it a little bit different than and a lot faster than a human would for sure.
Lord bless it.
Yes, thanks for being here. Interested to see what happens. Time now 9:26 and 80 degrees for now.
Secret Service say they stopped a second attempt at assassination of former President Trump over the weekend. The latest on this investigation is next.
And the owners of TikTok in a high-stakes court battle over the future of the app in the U.S. We're going to have the latest information next. Welcome back. It's 9:30. Well, to the latest on the apparent assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump at his golf course in Florida. So authorities say the gunman tried to shoot the former president while he was on the course 300 to 500 yards away.
A Secret Service agent spotted him and shots were fired. The gunman then fled in a vehicle and was detained a short time later. ABC's Rachel Scott has the details.
This morning, for the second time in just 2 months, the FBI is investigating an apparent attempted assassination on Donald Trump. ABC News learning the former president was on his West Palm Beach golf course with donor Steve Witkoff near the 5th hole when a Secret Service agent suddenly saw a barrel of a rifle sticking out of the fence just 300 to 400 yards away.
What they do is they have an agent that jumps one hole ahead of time to where the president was at. And he was able to spot this rifle barrel sticking out of the fence and immediately engage that individual, at which time the individual took off.
Sources say Secret Service fired 4 to 6 rounds as Trump was rushed to a safe area. The suspected gunman went running, leaving behind an AK-47 style rifle, 2 backpacks which contained ceramic tile, and a GoPro hanging on the fence. An eyewitness catching the suspect fleeing.
Fortunately, we were able to locate a witness that came to us and said, hey, I saw the guy running out of the bushes. He jumped into a black Nissan, and I took a picture of the vehicle and the tag, which was great.
With that information, police were able to track down the car. This is the moment authorities surrounded the suspect in the vehicle.
We knew we had the car, everything lined up. We surrounded the car, didn't give him a chance to flee. He had no alternative but to surrender.
Multiple law enforcement sources tell ABC News the man detained by police is 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Roth. Overnight, law enforcement descending on his home in Greensboro, North Carolina, going through the residence floor by floor, searching by a flashlight. Sources also say he had ties to Hawaii. His neighbor there speaking with ABC News.
I kind of like a shock that all of this is happening.
While authorities are working to determine a motive, sources familiar with the investigation say they are looking into whether Roth had any frustrations with Trump's position on Ukraine. He frequently posted on social media about the war, seen here in a 2022 video in Poland around the time he went to Ukraine.
And that we're going to stay as long as it takes to get every Russian out of Ukraine.
Trump traveled back to his Mar-a-Lago estate in a social media post thanking law enforcement for keeping him safe, saying the job done was absolutely outstanding. His son Eric Trump telling Fox News, "My father is running out of lives." It was just 65 days ago that Trump survived an attempted assassination at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. The former president was grazed by a bullet in the ear, ducking for cover behind the podium. And this morning, there are questions once again about how a gunman could get this close to a former president and Republican nominee.
He's not the sitting president. If he was, we would have had this entire golf course around it. But because he's not, the security is limited to the areas that the Secret Service deems possible.
Now, as Rachel Scott just mentioned, the investigation is ongoing as to how the gunman was able to get so close to the former president.
And it's also not known what charges the gunman faces for attempted assassination.
Well, community of Springfield, Ohio, now a city on edge after multiple threats. 2 area colleges, the mayor's house, and City Hall all received threats of bombings and shootings over the weekend. So the mayor says he believes that threats are directly connected to baseless claims that Haitian migrants were abducting pets in Springfield in order to eat them. Now, city and state officials say there is no evidence of this happening, and that former President Donald Trump amplified those claims during the presidential debate with Vice President Kamala Harris.
I think these discussions about Haitians eating dogs and cats and other things needs to stop.
Well, Governor Mike DeWine says there are challenges, including housing and health care, with the number of immigrants moving to Springfield, but they are there legally and want to work. Now, Trump reportedly plans to visit Springfield, Ohio, very soon.
Meanwhile, TikTok is in court today arguing that a proposed ban on the app would be unconstitutional. This comes after President Biden signed a bill that would ban the app by January of next year unless TikTok was sold by its parent company, ByteDance. Its Justice Department is calling the app a national security threat for its ties to China. Both presidential campaigns have begun using TikTok for advertising.
You see both campaigns on there. Regardless of how they even feel about TikTok, TikTok's future, they're using it now. They want to reach young people.
U.S. officials say that the app can be used as a Chinese propaganda tool and user data can be handed over to the Chinese government. TikTok denies the allegations, calling the attempt to ban it a radical departure from the country's tradition of championing an open internet and sets a dangerous precedent.
Look out there with live cam this morning, feeling like an afternoon already at 80 degrees. And we know those temperatures are going to keep climbing for the kiddos when they get out of school.
It's true. It's going to be really hot. This forecast stinks, guys. It really does. Or maybe it's just this picture of our KSAT Connect, on our KSAT Connect that was sent in a little bit earlier. Let's take a look. There she is. It's a cute little stinker. So there's that. It came by for a quick snack. Yeah, critters are out.
Ooh.
You don't feel good about it, Daphne?
You know, it's when they're in the middle of the road and after what has happened.
Sure.
That you smell them. But
yeah, that or if they get after your dog.
Yeah, they'll leave you alone if you don't mess with them.
But they are kind of cute.
We hope. I see some darting in my neighborhood. I'm like, stay away.
89 by noontime. We'll be up around 97 this afternoon. Feels like numbers will be 100 plus. Even around 7 o'clock, we're still looking at 92. So yes, a very hot forecast. Pollen count is in, molds are low, fall elm is low, ragweed also low, but they're all there. And coming up, we'll talk about temperatures across the country. You know, we may be one of the warmest places in the United States this afternoon. We'll show it to you here in just a couple minutes.
Thank you, Justin. Look out there with TransGuide, looking again at this crash at I-35 South at St. Mary's. You could see how it's holding up traffic there. Primarily,
like a right there.
Yes, looks like they might be getting ready to try to clear it. Looks like the lane there is blocked, and the other ones seem to be open but moving very slowly at this time. So it looks like maybe if you're traveling a little later that it will be cleared by then, but they are still working to get the road clear.
9:37 now. This morning, a 7-year-old girl is in critical condition after she was found in the crossfire of a shooting inside of a West Side home. It happened early yesterday on Bratton Drive near Marbach. Police said the people at the home were hosting a boxing watch party. Officers say that a man and a woman got into a domestic altercation, and the man hosting the party tried to intervene. When the host told the man to leave, he refused, and then that's what SCPD says that the host got his gun and shot at the man. It grazed the man, but unfortunately hit the girl, which was the host's daughter. It's unclear if the girl's dad will face any charges.
Well, we are working to learn the names of 2 people killed in an apparent murder-suicide. This all started on Sunday morning when the San Antonio Police Department was called for a welfare check at an apartment complex on Jones-Maltzberger. This is near 281 and Sunset Road. Officers did determine that the man they were looking for was not home. Police later found out the man was at an apartment complex off East Sonterra and 281. So after spending hours trying to talk with the man, officers entered the apartment to find both the man and a woman dead. It's not clear what the relationship was there, but the San Antonio Police Department does believe that the man killed the woman before taking his own life.
Several hours earlier yesterday in the southwest side of town, another man died after a standoff with police in an apartment complex near Kellyfield. Police said that they found a domestic violence situation, a man holding a woman against her will with a gun. That woman was able to safely get out of the building. After that, the man unfortunately later came out with that gun and took his own life in front of police. SAPD says that the woman was treated for minor injuries.
And we do want to remind you, if you or anyone you know is suffering from domestic violence, there is help waiting for you. We have created an entire webpage dedicated to bringing those resources to you. You can scan that QR code on your screen, and that will take you directly to ksat.com/domestic violence.
It is now 9:39, and we're looking at 80 degrees outside. You're watching GMSA at 9.
Well, a tale of two cities. The Dallas Cowboys losing against the Saints, while Houston, Texas clinched a win against the Browns. We're going to have a recap of Sunday Night Football next.
And the Primetime Emmys for 2024 saw some big winners and more than a few tears last night. We'll have a recap of one of the biggest nights in entertainment next.
Hi, welcome back. Well, it was not a good weekend for our Cowboys.
So disappointing, but it's okay. Even though the 16-game regular season home streak came to an end with a 44-19 loss to the New Orleans Saints. So the Saints scored touchdowns on their first 6 drives. Dallas was coming off of a dominating season opening win at Cleveland. Dak Prescott played his first game since signing a $240 million 4-year contract. Did good in that first game, but I don't know what happened yesterday. The Cowboys lost again 8 months after their last home game in a wild-card loss to Green Bay. Now, after this embarrassing loss, Dallas is 1-1 on the year. However, they won't get a break this next weekend because they're going up against another pretty tough team. We're talking about the Baltimore Ravens. Solid team with Lamar Jackson, man. They lost yesterday, though, to the Las Vegas Raiders. It was a very tight game. The two teams are going to be able to duke it out again Sunday at 3:25 p.m. at the AT&T Stadium.
Well, there was great news, though, for the Houston Texans this weekend. C.J. Stroud threw for 260 yards and a touchdown to help the Houston Texans top the Chicago Bears 19-13 last night. This was Sunday Night Football. So Houston's defense put heavy pressure on the Bears for much of the game, and Stroud's 28-yard scoring pass to Nico Collins put Houston up 10-3 early in the second quarter. And the Texans led 16-10 at halftime. Houston had trouble moving the ball in the second half. However, its defense intercepted Chicago twice to secure the victory. Now, Houston is now 2-0 on this young season. After the game, head coach D'Amico Ryan spoke about the pressure the Texans put on Chicago quarterback Caleb Williams. Now, Houston now is 2-0 again. So looking ahead, the Texans will next hit the road to take on the Vikings in Minnesota. That is RJ's team, I believe. So that is this Sunday at noon at the U.S. Bank Stadium.
Speaking of RJ, his homeboy, Wemby, got some news to talk about right here. Of course, so there was a big surprise. Spurs superstar Victor Wembanyama paid a visit to Boomtown Sports and Collectibles on Saturday. Surprise showing was part of the Topps Hobby Rip Night, which saw a sports star showing up to local car stores all over the country. Store owner Vic Nava said that he had to keep the secret for weeks and said that the whole experience was super surreal. So look at Wemby, always showing up, and I think giving everybody something to smile at.
Yeah, we love Wemby.
Yeah, we can smile at the zoo too. Guys,
Yes.
Go out to the zoo, man. Look at them mingling with the cranes or whatever that thing is. Nobody has told me yet what is that yet, but it's the cutest. It's some cute birds.
The friendly birds.
Yeah, there you go.
Visiting birds.
There you go. Hey, man, I tell you, some of those is in the water. They got the right idea, right?
Yeah, it's already 80 degrees. So if you
Why do they look
do go
frozen? Like they're not moving.
Yeah,
Oh, there they
they're
go.
too hot. They're too hot.
They're just staying cool. Look, that one in the shade got the idea. Look at him. He's just like, y'all can't see me. All right. So, y'all, let's get to this. No moments from last night's 76th annual Primetime Emmy Award in Los Angeles. As usual, there were plenty of big names and big winners.
However, it was in the show's final moments that we got the surprise that nobody saw coming. So here's ABC's Rhiannon Alley.
If it goes well tonight, my name is pronounced Levy, not Levy.
And if things go south, my name is pronounced Martin Short.
Even Carol Burnett was charmed last night by hosts Eugene and Dan Levy as the father-son duo kicked off a festive night that was dominated by FX's Japanese period drama Shogun with 18 wins, including Outstanding Drama Series, Lead Actor, and Lead Actress. The Bear broke its own record with 11 trophies last night, including Jeremy Allen White for Best Actor.
This show has changed my life. It has instilled a faith that change is possible.
But there was a bit of an upset for Outstanding Comedy Series, announced by none other than Catherine O'Hara.
The Emmy goes to Hacks.
Jean Smart also took home the trophy for lead actress in Hacks. Netflix's viral hit Baby Reindeer took home 6 trophies, with creator Richard Gadd winning lead actor and writing.
If Baby Reindeer has proved anything, it's that there's no set formula to this, that you don't need big stars, proven IP, long-running series, catch-all storytelling to have a hit.
Jodie Foster won her first ever Emmy for True Detective Night Country. It was also a night of nostalgic reunions, including Ron Howard and Henry Winkler. Saturday Night Live producer Lorne Michaels lost to John Oliver, which turned out to be his 85th career Emmy loss. It came as a shock to some of his cast who tried to cheer him up from the stage. But
guys, this is very nice, but Lorne has won 21 Emmys, not to mention SNL's won over 200.
What? 200?
That's too much.
Billy Crystal, presenting for Talk Series, marked his nearly 50-year anniversary of appearing on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson for the very first time, giving a quick roast of the nominees.
The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Brilliant guy, but I wonder if he's ever seen himself naked.
And country star Jelly Roll, sporting a slimmed-down physique, paid the annual tribute to those stars we've lost over the last year.
Some days it ain't all bad. Some days it all gets worse. Some days I swear I'm better off than laying in that dirt.
Regan and Alley, ABC News, New York.
Somebody save me. That's Jelly Roll right there.
That is.
Me from myself.
He's very popular right now.
Very good. I love me some Jelly Roll. I love how real he is. I don't know. Well, he's just like one of the most authentic people I think you can meet because his story is just so strong. So, anyways, great performance right there.
Yeah, it was. It was. And Mother Nature's putting on a sad performance for
Her own
us.
show.
We need some cold fronts or something. It's not in the forecast. Look at this. We may be one of the hottest places in the country today, thanks to our heat high. 97 is what we're headed for this afternoon. Now, places like Phoenix probably beat us by a little bit, 99, but they don't have the humidity we have. So in my book, Texas, South Texas, one of the hottest places in the country today. Cool stuff's out west. Got a big area of low pressure. San Francisco, 68. Portland, 76. Seattle, 68. That sounds great. East Coast, same story. You got rain and an area of low pressure there. 70s for the nation's capital, Charleston. You get into Texas, it's all 90s. All 90s. And there's not much in the way of rain. We had some showers yesterday along in the valley, deep South Texas. Those have since pushed away. And we've still got some tropical weather, as I showed you earlier, moving in around the Carolinas. That's where the heavy rain is. Otherwise, pretty quiet across the nation's midsection, and that's the way it will stay. Our futurecast shows our high pressure doesn't want to move. It stays in place, if not building a little bit by the time we get into the end of the work week. So that means temperatures may even go a little bit warmer in some cases. Certainly, it's going to keep us dry. It's going to steer everything up and around us. So it's unfortunate that we're in this kind of pattern this late in the summer, but that's where we are. 80 so far today, but I want to show the almanac because our record is 99. That was set back in 1954. Not saying we're going to get there, but we're in range with a high of 97. So it's near record heat, certainly above average. The average is 90. Outside right now, blue skies, 81 degrees in New Braunfels, 79 Converse, 79 Boerne, 74 in Kerrville. Not much in the way of a breeze either. And so with that sticky, humid air and these warm temperatures, it just feels so So muggy out there. Heat index right now, 85. That number's jumping up quickly, 85 in Converse. You'll see the heat index rising to the 90s probably by as early as next hour. But yes, it will rise above 100, I think, for a time this afternoon. So be careful. Can't say it enough. 97 tomorrow. There is a small chance of a shower today and tomorrow, but it will be a random, stray, isolated shower. Most of us will not see anything at all. 96 Wednesday, 97 Thursday, and mid-90s going into the weekend as we officially get fall to begin. It's the fall equinox on Sunday, and it begins, by the way, Sunday morning. So technically our first full day of fall is not until Monday of next week. You look at the extended models, there are some that are hinting at some fronts maybe way down the line, but there is nothing in the short term to get excited about as far as good cold fronts.
So I guess on Monday we can wear fall colors, just not sweaters.
I mean, that's what I was thinking. I was
like
getting out my
shorts?
fall ties.
Your fall
Yeah.
shorts.
Bring it out, man. Hey,
It's San Antonio fall.
We're almost there. Okay, guys, we're looking at 9:52 with 80 degrees outside.
Go ahead and check back with our friends at SA Live. Nice and cool inside the market square. How are you guys?
Oh, well, things are heating up here
Yes, they
because
are.
we've got some great dishes in front of us.
That includes tacos, and of course, you guys already got to sample some. We've got Pete Rios, owner of Pete's Tacos, Taco House, and you've been voted best tacos in San Antonio. Tell me 3 reasons why.
Homemade ingredients, fresh ingredients. Our employees make with a lot of love, and tortillas, homemade. So we've been commented that some people think they're fake or store-bought, but we make them in the back.
That's how
by
good
hand.
they are, right, Pete? Yes, homemade tortillas, that goes a long way. Thank you, Pete. And we are going to make our own SA Live taco here in a bit.
And you know, that's what got us thinking. I mean, we're here with Pete, he's a local legend, right? Right, so if you could have tacos with any celebrity, who would it be? Scan that QR code on your screen and let us know, and you may see your answer in the show.
All right, and speaking of food, we have a Crispy food truck, right? And he's known as Crispy. He used to be a comedian, and he is making over-the-top chicken sandwiches. And look, there's one right there. Also, take a look at these biscuits here. Wow. I already took a piece. They're
Honey
amazing.
bang biscuits?
Yes.
Oh yes, they're amazing, okay? And if you're ready to start decorating for fall, here's where you can get some of the cutest pumpkin toast and bats with a Mexican twist. Samantha Ortega, co-manager from La Carreta Mexican Imports, is here, and you've got a small sampling, okay?
Yes, I do.
What is your most popular item?
These pumpkins, because they are rich in color, good quality, and traditional.
Rich in color, good quality, and traditional.
Yes, so we're going to show you a lot more from there. All that and more coming up on SA Live.